everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to Real Estate Essentials, your one-stop shop for all things essential in the real estate world. Today we're going to be talking about how to buy a house because I don't know about you, but my whole life I was taught that buying a house is really, really hard and scary and actually a bad financial investment. My parents still actually think that buying a house is a bad financial investment, which is crazy, and I think just shows how careful we need to be about who we take advice from, because my parents bought a house and when they sold it they lost money on it. But if you're shopping with the right intentions and you're looking for the right things, you will actually make an extremely sound financial decision. 90% of all millionaires made their money from real estate, so there's got to be something good with real estate. So I will probably record many more videos about the benefits of buying a house, but this one is how to buy a house. We're going to go through the step-by-step process. And if you get any value from this, please share it with your friends, smash the subscribe button, like button, leave a comment, let me know if there's anything I missed out. If you have any questions, I'm here for you, and I'm happy to answer any and all of your real estate questions. So the first thing you need when you buy a house is to get pre-approved by a bank. Unless you have a lot of cash sitting around, you'll probably need a loan from a bank. And in order to get a loan, you're gonna need basically three main things. One is a good credit score. Usually like anything above 650 is fantastic, but some banks will work with different scores. You need a pretty steady income. They'll probably ask for proof of payment for the last 6 months, somewhat more, somewhat less. Basically, they want you to show that you have steady income coming in, so you will pay your loan back to them because they're about to lend you a lot of money. They want to make sure that you're trustworthy, And you'll also need a little bit for a down payment. This can fluctuate depending on the market and depending on the type of loan that you get. There are two main loans. A conventional loan is typically 10 to 15%. So if you want to buy a $200,000 house, you'll need maybe $20,000 as a down payment. But if there is something called an FHA loan, which can be as low as 3.5% down. And I actually know some boutique banks that have their own programs. There are different incentives, and I have a friend who bought a house and she actually put 0 down. So it's definitely in your best interest to shop around. Different banks will offer different interest rates, different packages, different everything, So do your due diligence, call around, ask a bunch of different people. The bank will tell you the amount that they will give you a loan for, and it's really important to do this as your first step because I've seen so many times people will go shopping and fall in love with a house, and then they try to get a loan for it and the bank says, sorry, this is the highest that we'll give you, and then they spent all of this time and energy and fell in love with the property that they can't even get. So it's very, very important to get pre-approved for a loan first. You can get pre-qualified, which basically is the bank saying, hey, we will help you, but getting pre-approved is better because then you know exactly what your budget is. After you have a budget, it's really good to sit down and think about what you want in a house. Make a list. Buying a house can be an extremely emotional process, so I recommend doing this before you start shopping. Think about how many bedrooms you want, how many bathrooms you want, what you want the backyard to look like, the front yard. What are your non-negotiables in a house? Because that makes the whole process so much easier once you actually start shopping around and looking at the properties. You might see a house and be like, oh my God, I've always wanted granite kitchen, whatever, and then it's like, well, you don't actually want that. You just are in love with this one specific house and it's actually $60,000 more than your budget. So then you can refer back to your list and be like, oh yeah, I don't actually care that much. These are just pretty and I'm getting swept up. So it's very important to have a list of what you're looking for. I highly recommend getting a realtor. You don't technically need one, but it's pretty much free for a buyer to use a real estate agent because the real estate agent's commission will be coming from the sellers. From the seller side. So partner up with a real estate agent. Not all real estate agents are made equal. Some will bend over backwards to get to what you want. Some will not. Also, if there are multiple offers on a house, it's very important that your realtor has very good negotiation skills. So do a little bit of shopping around as well for your realtor. I personally am a real estate agent in Austin, Texas. If you're in Austin, Texas, I would love to be your royal realtor. If you're anywhere else, I have friends in all 50 states and even countries around the world. So leave me a message below or I'll put my email address and I would love to put you in touch with someone. After you get a realtor, start going to the houses that are in your price range and that have exactly what you want. This will be it can be a short process or a long process depending on how picky you are and what the market looks like in your area. So that's why, like I said, it's really important to have a list of the things that you want, because we just want to make it as easy as possible for you to find the house of your dreams. Once you find the house, you need to make an offer. Like I said, there could be potentially many offers on a home, so it's really important to have a realtor who's very good at negotiations, so you know the right price to offer and how to pitch it so that your offer gets chosen. It's very common practice to include a cover letter type thing, a story, so you can say, oh, I just had a baby, this is our first home, or whatever, because at the end of the day, it's the seller who does get to decide who gets their house, and humans love stories. So if you can tell them who you are, why you want that home. I saw recently today, someone wrote a whole poem about what they liked about the home. It was very cute, and that probably made the seller smile. I don't know if they got the offer with that poem, but it's pretty cute, so it probably didn't hurt. Assuming that you have a good offer, you have a good real estate agent, and your offer gets accepted, that's when the fun starts to happen. So you'll also need to give them a little bit of earnest money to prove that you're serious. So also in the beginning, I should have mentioned that, budget for that. Once your offer is accepted, you can get an inspection and an appraisal. The inspection is when you hire someone to go through the house. Sometimes the seller hires someone, depending. That can be also in the offer, in the negotiation. They go through the house and find all the things that are wrong with it. So then you know exactly what you're getting into. The appraisal is a formal appraisal done to give you the value of the house. It's really important to do these things before you sign the papers and close on the house, because what if the appraisal comes in and it's $60,000 cheaper than your offer? Or what if the inspection is like, hey, there's actually mold everywhere and you're gonna need to spend a lot of money to fix this house? So those are very, very important things, and depending on how they go, you can potentially renegotiate with the seller. Assuming all that goes well, you can do a final walkthrough and make sure that everything is okay, that this is the house that you want. Talk to the seller, have them do the walkthrough so they can show you, their favorite areas, the things that only you learn about once you live in a house for 5 or 10 years, So do the final walkthrough, and then it's closing day, which is very exciting. There's some paperwork. Make sure to look that over. Your lender will give you paperwork, the schedule for you to pay back your loan. Make sure that all of those numbers look right, and you sign those papers and you get the keys, and it's very exciting, and there you go. Congratulations, you are now a homeowner, excuse me. So this is just the brief overview. There's a lot of minute details with all of the steps, but I just wanted to give you the basics, the step-by-step instructions for how to buy a home. It's very, very important, and the biggest thing, if you take one thing away from this video, I want you to know that it's not as hard as you think. Like I said, with an FHA loan, you can put down as little as 3.5%, and even with some other loan options, you can put down 0. So it's definitely affordable. In some cases, it's even cheaper than paying rent. And the cool thing about owning your own house is that instead of paying a landlord's mortgage, you're paying your own mortgage. So you're basically paying yourself rent every month, and the value of that house increases, and then you get more money, which is pretty cool. So if you have any questions, I'm always here for you. Leave a comment below. I have my email address below. While you're down there, smash the subscribe button and the like button, and I will be here next week with another video about all things in the real estate world. Till then, have the best day yet.